Salute, salute. We live. Salute to the rec mob. Y'all know the M.Reck room etiquette. Hit that like button. We live. Press conference. The man Kodo over there. Jacobs over there. Oh, no doubt I'll be on the scene. You already know. Jeremy, salute. We out here. We live, baby. Bring it to you live. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna walk around.
My last fight was my best performance.
Yeah. Let's see what it is.
Anthony.
Y'all know the M.Reck room etiquette, that like button, chase money, I see you. Chase money, I'm at Chase Square at the Garden, you heard? We definitely chasing money all day. Salute the Blue Blood Sports TV in the building.
What's up?
Let them know who you be,
What up,
fam.
baby? Speedy Cinco, Blue Blood Sports TV. We in the building, y'all.
Yes, sir. Salute to the homie Blue Shy.
Yo, Shy, what up, baby? I'm out here working for you, baby. What up?
That's what it is. See your man Kodo over there, man. He on the low, but he can't be on the low. They on him. He was trying to zone out to his music and his Bluetooth headphones. Get a little close up on the spot. Live on MRecktv. You see the homie Kodo. You got Danny Jacobs over there. We out here.
Just give people up. Thank you so much. Should we get Eric on? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we out here. Y'all know what it is. See, let's see what it is. Salute. You know what I mean? I'm giving y'all that exclusive content as always. See Kodo in the building. Danny Jacobs in the building. We at the Garden, baby. I'm gonna give you a little glimpse. Oh yeah, we gonna see your man Eddie Hearn over there. One of the slickest talkers in boxing. Eddie Hearn. He got the right job as a promoter. Rocking these boxes to sleep. See what it is. Chase money, you see what it is, right? Chase Square at the Garden. We live, yo. Hopefully, you know the live feature battery. Hopefully we start this shit soon, man. My shit was already on 80s. I got my shit on
Power Save?
Yeah, Power Save, but that shit ain't safe with that live. It ain't safe with that live.
That's equalizer right there.
You already know. Chase money, salute. You already know. We at your favorite spot. Chase Bank, Chase. We chasing money all day. I know the M.Reck room etiquette. I'm bringing it to you live before the press conference starts. You see homie Kodo over there, Jacob, Eddie Hearn right there. Let me get him right now on MRecktv. Fuck, cool.
So many fighters on HBO, obviously. Many.
What up, Eddie Hearn? What's going on? Hello. Let them know you on MRecktv.
Yes,
MRecktv.
M.Reck.
Yes.
Okay.
Huh?
I thought the M was upside down. Could be Rec TV, you know what I mean?
How you be?
I'm doing very, very, very well. Life is great.
What's up, man? I'm gonna talk to you a little.
We'll talk. Lou?
Yeah, we live, man. We running down on everybody and anything. You feel me? We're gonna get back to Eddie Hearn in a little bit. Yeah, you know Eddie Hearn. He's something else.
Do you have like a particular memory that stands out?
Nah, dog.
It's like the HBO big stage. What's your first memory of HBO boxing as a fighter or as a comedian?
What time you got, family?
How do you feel about the new
12:14.
technologies that still
Oh,
some
damn.
of you that still don't really quite have an idea of what it might be?
Oh, no doubt. He said Kodo bumping Millie Jack, no doubt. Snoop Compton General.
Yeah.
You already know that China Black Millie Jack. Go get that off iTunes, Google Play, and off mrecktvpromo. We moving out here. Go get that M.Reck Target featuring China Black on mrecktvpromo as well as iTunes, Google Play. Eddie Hearn was shook when the ball pulled up on him. You already know. You already know he's shaking in them bullshit ass Gucci shoes or whatever he got on. You know what I'm saying? Salute. You know I'm with the shits. We gonna roast. We'll roast whoever. Why Sims, I see you. We with the shit. See, these other guys are gonna give you this exclusive press conference footage. If you don't see on MRecktv or Blue Blood Sports TV, you see this is before the press conference and all that. You run down on everything. Salute to the Rec Mall. 1 second.
Gustavo Neri with AV Boxing News.
Danny
I'm
Jacobs,
here with
what's
the
happening?
Miracle Man main eventing this Saturday night against Derevyanchenko for the IBF middleweight title of the world. Danny Jacobs is going on channel. I just want to get your perspective. First heard about HBO closing stores, and I know when you signed with HBO, one of the big reasons was for you to get the big fight, the big fight with Canelo and Triple G. Was there any concern on your side? You got to another network where you possibly might not get that fight. What would you take?
It's just sad to see HBO boxing go because I grew up on HBO boxing. See them go. It's kind of sad time. Yeah, so that's really how I look at it. No other way. My opportunities can still come if I do things that.
Then let's start doing the paperwork para tener la visa aprobada. Si no es el 15 en enero. Para que aparte tome en cuenta
Yeah, dynamic is definitely from around. But it's still a tough fight.
entonces él puede ser
What was your reaction to this fight of Andre so he told me that nobody fights over he wants to fight those.
Yeah, salute, y'all. You know, we live on MRecktv. Salute to the Rec Mob. You know, I'm gonna go live from the fight too. It might shut my account down. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go live from the fight. You dig?
They gonna find you in your seat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go live right from the fight. Fucking HBO gonna shut my account. HBO and YouTube collectively, they gonna fucking shut me down. I'm gonna do it for y'all. Just make sure y'all hit that donation link when I go live in the fight too. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hold this selfie stick steady. Hold on, y'all. Let me give y'all some more. It's about to go down. It's supposed to go down at 12, but you know, they always run a little bit behind. See, the thing about this live, it's like you can't really like stop it and start from where you left off at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep this thing going. I think it's about to go down right now. Hold on, y'all. Good press conference going down.
Good guy.
Yeah, that's my cousin, my man.
Oh, that's damn. Boo's my man too, man.
That's my cousin. That's cool. I'll come out here.
I could imagine. He's hardworking man. You're hardworking man too, just like M.Reck, man. Hardworking man.
Salute. Let him know.
King. That's my king right there.
Oh, salute, King. We all king.
You already know.
We all king.
All the brothers out here gotta beat this old meter, man. New meter the old way, man.
You already know.
That's why my man right here work hard for the 100K. Was it 100K you made?
Yeah. Subscribers.
Congrats.
Yeah, 45 million views.
There you go.
Over 100.
That's hard work, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's
let them know.
Yeah, that's an inspiration. We live.
Yeah.
Congrats to my man M.Reck for reaching the new milestones on YouTube subscribers, 100K. That's not anybody can do that. I can't even do that right now. But you know, hopefully with his inspiration, his hard grind ethic, I'm gonna get there. But thanks to M.Reck for leading the example, man. Cause all these brothers, these new media got to make it out there, and that's the way to go. New media all day, baby. Shout out to M.Reck. No doubt about it.
That's my man Gustavo right there. AB Boxing. We working, man. You know, that's all we do. We just work, man. We work hard. You know, I could bring the big boy cameras out. I got all that, but ain't nothing like just pulling out your phone and getting right to it. You gonna live?
Oh, for this? Yeah. No, I tweet.
Oh, you tweet?
Yeah, I just take pictures, tweet quotes.
Why not? Nice. Press conference about to go down. Salute, Crash Money. All day we give wisdom so everybody can be wise. You already know. Press conference is going down, y'all, so y'all might as well stay in the room. They're getting exclusive on MRecktv. See your man Eddie Hearns, Danny Jacobs, right there. Kodo is in the next row. He right over there. Hold on. See your man Kodo right there. You see what it is. You see what it is. Exclusive. Everybody can't come up in here. Trust me, believe that. Trust me, believe that. They checking credentials at the door. When they seen that MRecktv hat, they was like, "Oh no, you good. We know what it is." I seen a few dudes get shut down. Damn, they saying my shit poor connection right when we about to go live. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
represent the artist.
We about to go live, y'all.
I can see the cold does not affect them. They're used to it from home.
Yo, y'all still see the video footage? Let me know. Let me know if the, oh yeah, no doubt, Lamar Hill. You gotta know somebody to get up in here. You gotta be somebody. And your brain gotta stand for something. Find a better seat, nigga. I'm like second row. How close you want me to be?
I resorted to working with toy cameras.
Man, I'm giving you exclusive, and you still told me I need to get a better seat. Man. How close you want me to be, my G? Y'all get too close. It's blurry? Oh, okay. It's probably because the Wi-Fi is kind of trash in here, but you know. Oh, for the connection, I see what you're saying. Salute, Paul himself. Yeah, my connection was just good. I don't know what's going on now. Maybe I can stop it and start it again. Yeah, it's saying bad connection. Let me stop it and start it again. Man, it's telling me it's connection. I'm gonna have to rock out because if I stop, I probably won't even be able to connect. I mean, bear with me, y'all. I'm working with the connection that's here. Bear with me, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it because if I jump off, I probably won't be able to connect. You know what I'm saying? You live too? Yeah. You got IG or YouTube? Connection? Spooky? Connection a little spooky?
I'll move right now, bro.
Yo, you know what it is? It's probably because everybody logging on. And they got spooky. Okay, there you go. I think we back in the building, y'all. I think we back in the building. Oh, man. It's going in and out. Stay tuned, y'all. Yeah, connection a little spooky, Gotham City. Nah, it gets spooky. See my man Danny Jacobs, you know, repping from Brownsville. You know, I'm from East New York, but Brownsville. I was out there heavy, and stay out there heavy. That's right around the corner. No doubt, Danny Jacobs, we riding. We riding. You better stay locked in because it's about to go down. MRecktv giving y'all that exclusive. You see Danny Jacobs talking to Freddie Pro. See what it is, live. Real press, you already know, real media. I'm doing it for the rec mall, for the streets, for the culture. Hip-hop, boxing, sports, whatever. Comedy, movies, you know. Oh, yeah, check for that Equal Standard movie, me and Ice-T. You see me and Ice-T in the Equal Standard movie with Fredro. Check for that.
Así oí, dije no, así como viene ese offer, mejor me tapo. Ese ganchito venía fuerte.
No doubt, we in the building, Rec Mall. Oh shit, I didn't even know the fucking wristband matched my hat. See what it is. Matchroom shit. You know what I mean? Match my hat and shirt, you know what I mean? They must have knew. They said M.Reck wearing that neon green M.Reck joint. Oh, man. Uh-oh, it's about to go down. About to go down. Always gotta stand out, Crash Money. About to go down. About to go down. Slow.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the historic Madison Square Gardens. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to be involved in a show here, and I'm so excited ahead of a huge triple header on Saturday night live on HBO, also in Sky Sports in the UK, at the Hulu Theatre at Madison Square Gardens. As I said, it's an honour to be here for a great card, 3 World Championship fights, and a huge main event, and such an important fight for the middleweight division, when Danny Jacobs tackles Sergey Derevyanchenko for the IBF middleweight title. Again, it's a pleasure to be here, to be working with Sal and Joel Fisher at MSG. And before we talk to the fighters and Peter Nelson from HBO, I'd like a round of applause as we welcome up Joel Fisher from MSG.
Thank you, Eddie, and it's a thrill to have you guys here. I want to welcome everybody to Chase Square today. It's nothing like fight week. A lot of you know that. We are extremely excited about this fight on Saturday night. It should be a great event. Saturday night really kicks off. It's a very exciting time here at the Garden because it really kicks off a huge fight schedule here at the Garden. After Saturday night, it's followed on November 3rd with UFC 230. Then we have Lomachenko Pedraza on December 8th, and it wraps up on December 15th with Canelo Alvarez versus Rocky Fielding on December 15th. So a great series of events coming up, and it's great for all the fight and combat fans of New York City and the whole area. You know, Eddie mentioned it's his first time here. I want to really congratulate him, Frank Smith, Sean Palmer, the entire team for Matchroom Boxing. I want to welcome them to Madison Square Garden, and hopefully this is the first boxing event of many, many, many that they'll do here. It's just been great working with Eddie and his entire team. I want to welcome back Lou. It's been a while since we've worked with Lou and his staff, Ron, Meredith, Sean, of course. They're great to work with, and it's great to have them here. And of course, and this is really, you know, this is personal for all of us here, but to welcome back Miguel Cotto. This was his second home, or is his second home, and it's always a pleasure to have Miguel and his entire team here. Miguel provided many, many memorable moments here at the Garden. We can't thank him enough, and we're really looking forward to working with him more in the future with a lot of his fighters. And of course, we're thrilled that Golden Boy is also involved with this card. So I just want to congratulate everybody for putting on a great card. It'll be a great night. It's a really important middleweight fight, as Eddie said, and it'll be great for boxing fans on Saturday night. We're really thrilled. You know, last time Danny was here, he had a tough fight, great fight, and we're really thrilled to welcome Danny back to the Garden and be here in New York. He's a great fighter, but better than being a great fighter, he's a great person. Every time he steps in the ring, he steps up his game, and Saturday, I'm sure, will be no different at all. Sergey makes your Garden debut here. I'm sure you're looking to walk out undefeated with your record intact. So there's a lot on the line here, and I'm sure both fighters will be really ready on Saturday night. When you come to the Madison Square Garden, and you come to the rings in Madison Square Garden, there's just a tremendous amount of electricity in this building. We're not called the Mecca for no reason at all. It's a tremendous place to fight. It's a great for us to host all these great fighters here at the Mecca of boxing. I would be remiss if I didn't mention, where's Peter, to welcome Peter and HBO. We built a great relationship with Peter and all our friends at HBO. It's great to have them back in the building. They've been here for many, many years. And we look and we're sure we'll do a lot more things with Peter and HBO. So thanks again for everybody for being here today. We look forward to a tremendous evening of boxing that starts a whole string of great fights. But Saturday night will just be a great night. It will be electric in the theater, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks a lot for coming today.
Before we move on to the fighters and their teams on the stage, I'm going to bring up a man who we have a lot to thank for in terms of the route that Danny Jacobs has taken to this fight. When we signed Danny, we made the move to HBO Boxing. Peter Nelson believed in Danny Jacobs. He knew that he was a star, and he helped us and backed Danny Jacobs to get to this position. After 2 fights against Luis Arias and Maciej Sulecki, he's here now to challenge for the world title, and Peter has played a huge part in making that possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the head of boxing at HBO, Peter Nelson.
All right, I want to thank all the media for showing up and supporting this terrific event. I want to thank Madison Square Garden, Joel Fisher, his entire team, Eddie Hearn, folks at Matchroom USA doing a terrific job, Louis DeBella, my spiritual advisor. I want to thank Golden Boy and Miguel Cotto and Miguel Cotto Promotions, putting together such an excellent card top to bottom, from the Hardy-Vincent fight to the Machado-Evans fight to our main event, of course, in Jacobs and Derevyanchenko. I want to thank these fighters and their teams, the trainers. We got the great Freddie Roach here, we got Andre Rozier, and particularly the fighters in the main event for putting aside their stableship, their friendship with each other in order to fight on their path towards middleweight supremacy. We look forward to a great title fight on Saturday night. Our start time is 10 p.m. Eastern, and we look forward to seeing you all there. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Peter. Boxing throws up some surprises. Me and Lou DeBella co-promoting a show is probably one of them. I've known Lou probably since I was about 10 years old, and he hasn't changed much. He's still as fiery as ever. He's still as passionate as ever, and I think that's secretly, I hate to admit it, but that's one thing that I like about Lou DeBella. There's a lot of people in boxing who will say many a thing behind your back, and when they see you, give you the biggest smile and the biggest cuddle that you could possibly get. But not with Lou. If he's got something to tell you, he'll just tell you. But I much prefer that. And you know, when you shake your hands with Lou, sometimes you've got to check your fingers, but genuinely, you know you're in for the deal with Lou DeBella. And I think he is one of the few promoters left in the US. You know, someone who is a great talker, someone who has great passion for boxing, someone who knows how to maneuver fighters and get young fighters a chance to succeed in the game. And before I bring him up to talk about his young fighter, Patrick Day, welcome to the card as well. I'm just going to talk about the growth of women's boxing a little bit, because we have a great World Championship fight on this card, now live on HBO as well between Shelley Vincent and Heather Hardy for the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World on Saturday. I think the rise of women's boxing has been a great thing for the sport in general. I mean, my wife and my two daughters are there. Their favourite fighter is Katie Taylor. And it's great to see a new generation of fans, and obviously gender of fans as well, coming into the sport. But I keep saying, I keep stressing, it's not about male or female. It's about entertainment. It's about great fights. And if you can fight, I don't care where you're from, whether you're male or female, your ethnic background, it doesn't matter. It's about entertainment and providing entertainment for the fans. And if you watched Heather Hardy versus Shelley Vincent 1, you know that on Saturday night, this fight is going to be an absolute war and everybody's going to love it. It's very rare now for us to put on a show without a women's world championship fight. And I think that's a great comparison and great example of where the sport has come for the female side of that sport. But again, like I said, men, women, it's completely irrelevant. It's a product. If it's entertaining, watch it. And these two will provide great entertainment for you on Saturday night. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up my good friend, as Peter calls him, Luis de Bella Esquire.
Thank you, Eddie. I heard Eddie say Madison Square Gardens a couple of times. I heard Eddie say Madison Square Gardens a couple of times. I think he's so used to in America people saying Eddie Hearns, right, that the S is stuck in his head. But I want to thank my friend Eddie Hearn without the S. And I'll say that it wasn't easy to make this fight. I want to acknowledge Keith Connolly, who is widely known as Danny's manager, not so widely known as Sergey's advisor, but he was instrumental in this, as well as Al Heyman, who was involved as Sergey's advisor. From the time we made the fight, which wasn't so easy to make, Eddie said, I want to make a show that from top to bottom, Eddie said, I want to make a show that from top to bottom is quality, that shows top prospects. I want to put together a great show. And this is his first fight that he has done at the Garden. And I give you kudos for putting together a great show. Thank you to the guys at the Garden, who I know forever. We haven't worked together in a long time. We go back decades, and it's good to be here. Peter, Nelson, thank you. Thank HBO. HBO will always have a big place in my heart. I spent a lot of years there. I'm really thrilled that this, to me, is such a great representative HBO show. This is a show that reflects the great legacy of HBO boxing, and it means a lot to me to be involved in the show. And thank you for making that on-the-fly, last-minute decision to televise Heather Hardy and Shelley Vincent, which I think it was a brave decision, considering women's boxing is not something over the years that HBO has particularly embraced, and I think it's a great thing. Even want to thank Golden Boy Promotions for giving young Gail Evans an opportunity to fight for a world title. This is a great champion. I saw this kid yesterday, and I was like, I've never seen 130-pound fighters 6 feet tall and as big as this kid. And Yandil's not a big kid. He's moved up in the featherweight. But Yandil is a guy that's taken on big challenges his whole life and always been the underdog. But thank you for giving an underdog an opportunity. We got a terrific undercard. I have some fighters on the card. There's a guy whose nickname is the Big Uzbek. His name is Jalalov. He was one of the best amateur heavyweights in the world. You'll notice him because he'll be the biggest guy in the room, 6'7", and he'll be on the undercard along with prospects in the world. I'm thrilled to be able to showcase a guy who is the pride of Long Island, trained by Long Island institution, Joe Higgins, one of our great amateur trainers, and as well as a pro trainer, but a guy that's done so much for so many kids on Long Island. Patrick has got 2 losses, and people look at 2 losses sometimes and they think of a guy not being a prospect. This is one of the best 54-pound fighters in the world. Everybody in New York knows that. He's a vastly improved fighter. He knocked off 2 undefeated fighters in the last couple of years. He's been sparring world champions and being brought back from camp to camp because of the great work he gives them. He's also a great kid, a college graduate, a guy that has a great future both in and out of the ring. And it's my pleasure to bring up Patrick all day.
thanks to everybody for being able to make it here healthy and safe. It's an honor to be here, you know, fighting on this card. I'm a big fan of both guys in the main event. You know, I had the honor of training alongside both of them. I'm just excited to be here, you know. Sure, I have a goal in mind, and the fight is my priority. My fight is my priority, but it's just good to be here in the same space as these guys and just get to observe greatness. You know, it's been really hard for me to get a fight lately, and I'm so thankful that I got one. You know, I want to thank my opponent, Ayala, for stepping up and taking this fight last minute. Because, man, I mean, I never would imagine I'd be in this position. You know, so many guys I feel like are avoiding me. You know, and I never thought I would say that because I'm not a scary guy. You know, there's nothing scary about me. You know, I'm a gentleman. You know, so who would have thought people would be running from me? But lately it's been so difficult to get a fight. And we got one, and unfortunately Willie Nelson broke his hand. So I pray for a speedy recovery for him. But I'm just glad that I got the replacement, and I'm glad that I'm gonna get to showcase my abilities. And it's gonna be a fun night. You know, I plan to do the best I can and showcase my talent. And then I look forward to just sitting in the crowd and watching these two guys right here get it on, along with the rest of the televised event. So it's gonna be a great night. And I'm sure that the media, everyone's going to get a kick out of it as well. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Eddie, and HBO, and everybody for putting this event together. And God bless.
These two ladies went into Brooklyn on an undercard of Errol Spence's fight. Frankly, it was the Errol Spence fight that really elevated Errol to a different level. When 6 million people saw him fight after a Olympic championship basketball game. And it was a teeming rainstorm, and their fight was after the Spence fight, after the main event, and not a single person left. Frankly, because these ladies sold a good portion of the tickets in that room in Brooklyn, actually that amphitheater in Brooklyn. And then they went out there and they went to war. And it really was the closest thing women's boxing has seen on any kind of stage to Gatti and Ward. I know that that's high praise and the highest standard, but those ladies got in there and they traded punches for 10 rounds and tried to kill each other. And it was a close fight that Heather won. I think they walked away from it with a degree of mutual respect that they didn't have going in. And it took a long time to get this match made. And thanks again to Eddie, because even if HBO didn't televise it, we made the fight for this card. And it's really gotten a tremendous amount of attention. All you gotta do is go on social media to see the attention this fight is getting, because people know what to expect. And what to expect is two women who are terrific athletes, who have the heart of champions going in there to try to beat each other up and to advance their careers and take care of their families. And I'm thrilled that they're getting this opportunity because they deserve it. First, I want to bring up Shalito's Way, Shelly Vincent. The way you look right now, I don't know if I should call you Sheldon. She's got a goatee paint though. I mean, Jesus Christ. But you know, she is a colorful lady. She's spooky. She makes no excuses for who she is. She's proud of who she is. She's hilarious. You know, I'm fond of both these women. They're completely different, and yet they have similarities. And the similarities, you know, in life, people have to overcome hurdles and obstacles. And both these ladies were sexually assaulted and abused. Both these ladies are survivors. And both these ladies have had to fight tooth and nail for everything they have. And that's the ultimate similarity that overcomes all the differences. My pleasure to bring up the pride of Connecticut, Shelly Shalito's Way Vincent.
First of all, I want to thank HBO Boxing, Peter Nelson, for getting us on this card last minute. Lou DeBella for always fighting for us and women. Eddie Hearn, you know, for letting us be on this card. It's an honor to be on this card, especially, you know, fighting under Danny Jacobs, who I always looked up to, and he's such an inspiration for me. I lost my mother to cancer, and to see how he fought back and he's on top now. You know, so just to be here at Madison Square Garden, when I was a kid, I wanted to shoot hoops there. I wanted to be a pro basketball player, but as y'all can see, the size of me, that wasn't really gonna happen. So, you know, and to get to fight my rival here in the biggest stage of boxing, all these greats been, you know, it's such a blessing, especially where I came from. Like you said, I was supposed to be dead. You know, I had a lot of people do a lot of things to me. I don't trust them much. But as for my bed, I woke up like this. So, by the talks of what Heather's people say, my imaginary steroids must have kicked full in gear. And, you know, I was a little boy yesterday, but today I'm a grown-ass little man. So you're gonna have your hands full on Saturday. You know, it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a war, and this time I'm not leaving with my property, and I'm gonna leave it short and sweet because the talk's all over. It's just time to perform. You know, thank you everybody for coming, for the people that support me, for the people that donated the tickets to the kids that get to come, the sponsors. Thank you. It's hard for women, and we work really hard. I know Heather sells tickets in like 3 different places and drives around too, everywhere. You know, thank you guys so much for letting us be in this situation right now, this opportunity.
And you know, female fighters have to pay the bills too. And Heather skipped over to MMA, became a 2-sport athlete, signed to Bellator because she had to take care of her daughter and her family. She's a single mom. Both these ladies have, you know, when I say that these are women fighting, you know, for their well-being and their lives and their families, that's the truth. And I'm happy that both of them are making career high paydays on Saturday night. And I think that's wonderful. And it's my pleasure to bring up the first woman I ever signed to the Bell Entertainment to a promotional contract. Her nickname for a long time has been the First Lady. She was the first lady I ever signed to a deal. And that led to many other women. I now have 6 or 7 women, I believe, under contract. And they're all terrific fighters. She's a tremendously popular athlete in New York, tremendously popular fighter in 2 sports. She's got the heart of a lioness, and my pleasure to bring up Heather the Heat Hardy. Thank you to the WBO, because this is, you know, it's been both these ladies' dream to fight for a world championship. They're going to get to fight for a world championship at Madison Square Garden for the WBO featherweight title.
Wow, for the first time, I'm actually speechless. I've never gotten such an incredible introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eddie Hearn, for everything you had to say about women's boxing. Usually it's me and Shelly coming up, having to tell you guys how great we are, how good we fight, how exciting we can be even though we're women. So I actually feel like I could cry. Like, my whole career has really been fighting for this. So I'm going to show everybody on Saturday night what I've been fighting for and what I've haven't shut up about getting us on TV. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you.
Dale Evans came up the hard way in Cleveland. It's a tough life. This guy is the definitive underdog. Hadn't been too active for a while, had managerial problems, emotional problems, life problems. Got everything back together, and I put him in the ring with an undefeated kid that was world ranked, that was supposed to beat him, and Dale took care of business and really beat the kid up. And then he fought Louis Rosa on Showbox, the late Louis Rosa, may he rest in peace, who was a terrific fighter, a terrific young fighter, real talent. And they fought a war, really a Showbox fight that was on everybody's honorable mention list this fight of the year. He's got his hands full Saturday night. Machado's a great champion, and the more I see of him, the more tape I've looked at, the more I realize that Dale Evans got a giant mountain he's got to climb on Saturday night. But if there's anybody that can climb that mountain, it's this young man, Dale Evans.
Thank you, DeBella. How everybody doing today? First off, I want to thank God for being in this position. I want to thank the fans, the audience, everybody who came out to see the show. fighting a champion. Like you said, he's a mountain. I'm the one to get over that mountain. I don't come to play. I don't come to party. I come to win. It's a world title. Not many get this. Not many get this chance. I know a lot of guys, even in my gym, who don't get this chance to fight for a world title before they actually quit boxing or give up on themselves. Yeah, I came up the hard way. I definitely came up the hard way. But one thing about me is I'm always ready, and I'm always trying to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm always ready for war. Last year, Lady Louis Rosa gave me the biggest war, the hardest fight of my career. And I came out on top. It was one of the top fights of last year, Showtime. And you know, going into this fight, I'm carrying Rosa with me. You know, he's a Puerto Rican also, so it's kind of weird me fighting a Puerto Rican. But like I said, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank DeBella. I want to thank Miguel, you know, Golden Boy, Eddie Hearns. I want to thank everybody for coming together and actually throwing this show. And we're gonna give you a fight. Definitely gonna give you a fight to see. Like I said, I ain't come to play. I didn't come to talk. Shorts. Thank you.
And for the second half of our second World Championship fight, as well as great dealing with Lou DeBella on the show, it's great dealing with Golden Boy as well. Many business together recently and also in the future as well, but my relationship with Robert Diaz goes back a long way to making fights for many years recently. The two Jorge Linares fights with Anthony Crolla are always a pleasure to deal with and to introduce his charge. And also I would just like to say I think we should have a big round of applause for a true legend of boxing here with the Machado team, Miguel Cotto as well. To introduce his charge, the current WBA, and I will just say the 130-pound division as well is electric at the moment, as many divisions are in boxing. You know, a great win for Tevin Farmer, our fighter last week, and Gervonta Davis as well is a real star of the division. And Albert Machado has a real chance to step in to those kind of realms on Saturday night on a huge platform on HBO. So to introduce his fighter, a big round of applause for Golden Boy's Robert Diaz.
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Madison Square Garden. Like I said earlier, the Mecca of boxing. This shows the commitment. On our part, Golden Boy always wanted to put on the best fights. But when you have several promoters on the same card and putting on their best fighters, that's when you know you're gonna get great fights. Tune in Saturday night, you don't wanna miss it. With Alberto Machado, we have a great partnership with Promociones Miguel Cotto, Hector, Brian, and of course Miguel. We joined forces a while back. There was not one champion in Puerto Rico, a place that's always had some of the greatest fighters in boxing, a history of boxing. Today there's 5 world champions. We're lucky to be working with 2. With Miguel, Tito Acosta, who just defended his title a couple weeks ago. Tito. And the undefeated WBA world champion, Alberto Machado. Alberto has a great team behind him with the legendary Freddie Roach. Every fight, he's getting better and better and better. Juan de Leon, thank you. We know Yandel Evans has nothing to lose and everything to win. He's a very dangerous opponent. When this fight was offered, I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I didn't like it. I didn't want it. My co-promoters, Machado, Freddie, Juan, said let's do it. Madison Square Garden, we want bigger fights. Let's go out there and show the world what Alberto Machado is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated WBA world champion, Alberto Machado.
Good morning, bless all. I'm happy, I'm so excited for be here, come back against, so my last fight, in 2014. This is my second fight here in the Mecca boxing. Miguel Cotto is my promoter now. He has a lot of fight here in Madison Square Garden, and for me it's a pleasure to be here and continue the history. Thank you, Miguel Cotto Promotions. Thank you, Golden Boy Promotion for the opportunity for put me in this show. Thank you, International, for the opportunity one more time. Joan De La Evans, thank you for taking the fight against me. Rudy Bella, Eddie Hearn, thank you. I am happy. Can't wait for Saturday night for defending my title against all my Puerto Rican fans, all my Puerto Rican people. I am ready. I am happy. Thank you. Don't miss the fight Saturday. It's a great show, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Two great fights. The WBO Women's Featherweight World Championship and the WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World. And we move on to the main event. I feel has all the ingredients to be one of the fights of 2018. And I'm so excited because when you get a fight like this where you can really get up for it, I'm just talking about as a promoter, let alone for the fighters, when you can spend the whole week playing the fight over, thinking about what it would be like to see your guy become victorious, your guy to walk out with that World Championship belt on Saturday night. I'm excited, and these are the nights that the fighters live for, even the promoters live for as well, because this is a truly fantastic fight. Before we hear from Danny Jacobs, the Miracle Man, and his team, I'm going to pass over to Lou DiBella to talk about his fighter in Sergey Derevyanchenko, who has an absolute stellar amateur career. I believe around 400 fights. And I was in Kiev a couple of weeks ago for the WBC convention, and a lot of people were talking about Sergey. I mean, Alexander Usyk, who we now represent, and Vasyl Lomachenko have also paved the way for boxing in Ukraine, and a lot of people believe that Sergey Derevyanchenko may be the new emerging star to come out of Ukraine boxing and become victorious. And to introduce his charge, I'm going to pass over once again to Lou DiBella.
I want to start by acknowledging my co-promoter with Sergey and the guys that brought him to my attention. First, Fight Promotions, Max and Alex, thank you. His advisor, Keith, and Heyman. Hasn't been an easy road for Sergey Derevyanchenko as a pro. And he has a lot of reasons to be frustrated, and some of them probably a little bit of me. But you know what, when you're a great fighter and you don't speak English and you come from the Ukraine or a political refugee, and you come here and you're as high risk as this man is, people don't want to fight you. He was 390-20 as an amateur. He was the best fighter in the World Series of Boxing. Twice the best fighter in the World Series of Boxing. Danny knows this because they've been in the gym together so long. These guys are familiar with each other. You got two great fighters to my right and to my left right here. And this guy's had a rough road as a pro. Almost impossible to get him fights. We had to pull a lot of political machinations and legal machinations and all sorts of stuff to get him to this position. And I'm thrilled that we were able to. We got him the opportunity to fight Toriano Johnson in an eliminator. He got to that eliminator. He had to sit and wait out his opportunity as the #1 mandatory. He couldn't make himself unavailable, so he had to be relatively inactive. And then all of a sudden, Danny Jacobs is the next guy in the rankings. And all of a sudden, there's a huge fight for Sergey, the fight he's been waiting his whole life for. I know this guy right here since he's a kid, and he knows I have love for him, always will. One of the better people I know, one of the terrific athlete and a terrific man, a guy who's a survivor and an activist for cancer survivors. He really is a role model in the truest sense of the word. But the guy to my left is a role model in his own way. You just keep on working as hard as you can. You do the best you can. you be patient and you do your best and you stay in the gym and you become the best you can be and you support your family the best way you can and you get yourself to the point that you get an opportunity like this. And this man deserves this opportunity. And I've said this before, look, Danny may have an advantage. He's fought on some bigger stages. As a pro, he's fought some bigger names, some bigger fights. If there's an advantage that Sergey has, and I'm not saying Danny's not still hungry because he's a true professional and he is, but in all truth, he's earned a lot already. He's been able to reach a point where he and his kids don't have to worry, and the family doesn't have to worry in the future. This guy is fighting for everything, and no one in that room on Saturday night is going to be more motivated than Sergey Derevyanchenko. Before I bring up Sergey, I just want to bring up Alex Canis to say a couple of words. And Alex, from Fight Promotions, Alex is the person that introduced me to Sergey and the way that we were able to create this team.
Thanks to Madison Square Garden, to the Bella, Eddie Hearn. I'm Alex, Fight Promotions. We co-promote Sergey with Lou, and obviously this is our first world title bout, and we're extremely excited. And I know Danny for many years as well, and Keith. So I like both guys, but you'll see an excellent middleweight bout on Saturday. So best of luck to both guys.
They call Sergey the technician, and if you've ever watched his fights, he is a technician. And he's the kind of guy that gets in there and you see a lot of science and boxing ability and technical stuff, but he's strong and he wears you down and he throws hard punches. And when you start hitting the middle rounds of a fight with Sergey Derevyanchenko, you know that you're in hell. And Danny, I read an article where you described this fight as it's going to be a war of attrition. And it's going to be a war of attrition. You know, these are two men that come forward, warriors, heart of lions. They're going to go out there and they're going to rumble. And may the best man win. And I really believe on Saturday night that with his moment finally here, as great as I believe Danny Jacobs is, I believe that the technician, Sergey Derevyanchenko, is going to rise to the occasion, and it's going to be his time. Sergey Derevyanchenko.
Hello, everybody. Я рад присутствовать на этой пресс-конференции в этом знаменитом месте Madison Square Garden.
Hi everybody, I'm very glad to be here on the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden.
Хочу сказать спасибо HBO, Лу де Белла, Кит Коннелли, что они организовали такой хороший, организуют такой хороший вечер бокса.
I want to say big thanks to Louis DeBella, Eddie Hearn, Peter Nelson for big organization event for me.
Хочу сказать спасибо Дэниелу Джейкобсу, что он согласился. У меня был очень серьезный кэмп, я очень серьезно готовился к этому бою, потому что на кону стоит очень многое, и это будет война, и пояс будет у меня.
Did a lot of work in the Colorado Springs, my camp and my team. We did a tremendous job and did a lot of spar. And I want to say to the Daniel Jacobs, thanks for accepting this fight, for agreeing to fight with me. And I want to say just it's going to be a big war, and Bell will be with me.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, sir. To talk now, this man really needs no introduction. Everyone's heard this story now. I mean, I've lost count of the amount of people that have told me what a great guy Danny Jacobs is, but I've seen a completely different side of Danny Jacobs, even being around him in his hotel room the other day, certainly seeing him at the workout yesterday, and certainly seeing the pictures last night. I think every athlete needs motivation, and I think that sometimes when you go into a fight as a huge favourite, that it can take the edge off your desire in camp naturally, not because you're not a professional, just because you don't have that fear factor. But I think in this fight, Danny Jacobs is a completely different animal. I think he's in the shape of his career. I think he knows and respects how good Derevyanchenko is, and I think he knows that this is his defining moment in his career to become world champion at Madison Square Gardens on Saturday night. And one thing you know about Danny Jacobs is he's one hell of a competitor in every shape of the word. And he's also a great fighter. I mean, many believe, and I'm one of them, that he beat Gennady Golovkin in this building. And if that's the case, I believe you have every right to call him the best middleweight in the world. But on Saturday, he has a chance to do that and to move forward to those super fights, those other defining fights that could be out there, a Golovkin rematch, a Canelo fight, a unification fight with Andrade. These are the nights that lay ahead for Danny Jacobs, and I know what it means to him to be victorious on Saturday night, and I know what it means to both men, and that's why I believe you're going to get a wonderful, wonderful fight. So before we speak to Danny Jacobs, a miracle man, a man who was involved obviously with both camps, Keith Connolly had a very difficult job in the negotiations to this fight, and Keith's grown to be a friend of mine and a great advisor as well to established fighters and young fighters as well. He's a great advisor because he has a great personal relationship with them. He will always map out their career and in the best way possible, and also I can give you my word on this, he gets the maximum dollar he can for every one of his fighters as well. So a guy who's going to introduce his charge in this fight, very close relationship of course. I'd like to welcome up to the stage Keith Connolly.
Thank you, Eddie. You really know how to butter people up. I want to thank everybody for coming today. I want to thank Madison Square Garden, Peter Nelson for believing in Danny and putting the right money and giving him the right avenue to become a star in the sport. Obviously, I want to thank Eddie Hearn. He made that deal happen. I'd also like to thank Al Heyman, who is an advisor for Sergey and Danny. He's been with Danny since day one. He's been with Sergey for the last couple of years, and he really had an instrumental part in also making this fight. People don't realize that. We were at a sticking point, Lou DeBell and myself, and he helped it get over the finish line. So I want to thank Al as well. I want to give some credit to people on both teams. Gary Stark, who a lot of people in New York know who he is, but I don't think people nationally know who Gary Stark is. And he really cares about his fighters, but more than that, he's a great trainer, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Also, I want to give credit to Sergey Krasinski. He's Sergey Derevyanchenko's best friend, conditioning coach, and he's not a name that people know yet, but I think over the next 20 years, he could make a big name for himself in the sport. Obviously, I'm excited for Sergey Saturday. A lot of people don't know what type of fighter he is. He's a great fighter, and he's also a great ambassador for the sport. Obviously, on Team Jacob's side, you have Andre Rozier, who, in my opinion, is the best trainer in the sport. You also have Chris Algieri, who is really, really important to Danny. He does everything. Cooks for him, serves him, runs with him, spars with him. He might even do his laundry, I'm not even sure. I want to thank Mike Basil and Scooter for getting Danny in shape. Also, I want to thank my father, Pops Connolly. That's how everybody knows him. He was really instrumental in getting me involved in the sport and being sort of like a grandfather figure to Danny. I know he's meant a lot to Danny as well. So I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, Danny's really looked forward to this for the last 14 years. I know he won the WBA title, but you always have those writers out there that would call it the secondary title, and they'd always point that out. And, you know, I know that would bother Danny. So this is really a chance for Danny to win his first real world title. And, you know, I know he's in great shape. I know Sergey's in great shape. And I really, really expect a great night of boxing. I mean, there's really nothing better than a title fight in Madison Square Garden. So I'd like to bring up, without any further ado, I think one of the greatest fighters in the world. I think he's the best ambassador for the sport of boxing, and also one of my best friends in the world, Danny Jacobs.
Thanks everyone for being here today. Man, it's a good time for boxing. It's a damn good time for boxing. This platform that I have to prove that I am the best middleweight in the world is a very difficult task, and I accept. And I thank Sergey for accepting this challenge. And even though it's a bittersweet because we've known each other for some time, sparring partners. Gary was a former trainer of mine. So to see these guys on the opposite side of the ring come fight night, it's going to be bittersweet, We all knew each other for a very, very long time, so it's almost as if we're like family. But this is why we do it, for the love of the sport, for you guys, for your pleasure, for your entertainment. You're not going to want to miss this fight. It's going to be a stellar fight, competitive fight. This guy has tremendous skills, and you guys know that I bring everything that I have inside that square ring. I fight with glory, I fight with guts, I fight with skill, and everything and all the above. I'm just excited to be back in Madison Square Garden. I want to thank all my team and everybody who made this night and this event possible. This is going to be a stellar event. I'm excited to have Patrick Day, who's a kid, who actually started boxing because my man over here, his trainer, Joe Higgins, showed him a fight. And ever since he showed him that Daniel Jacobs fight here at Madison Square Garden for the Golden Gloves, he put on a pair of gloves and never took them off. So I'm excited for you, brother. Yes. But it's going to be a stellar card in general. I remember being in Coney Island, and I was, I do a little bit of commentating every now and then too. But, I was calling the Errol Spence card, and on the undercard, there was a female bout between these two women. And I had the privilege and the honor of calling that card, and it definitely lived up to this expectation. So you guys are not going to want to miss this card in general. Get here early if you can't make it, or if you can't, be here, watch it on HBO. You guys are definitely not going to want to miss this. I appreciate all my supporters. I appreciate all the fans of the sport of boxing for allowing us guys to have the life that we do, where we put so much on the line. And at the end of the day, boxing is still thriving. Boxing is still the #1 sport in the world. So I thank you guys, and I thank every participant in this event today. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you to all 7 fighters up here. It was thrilling to listen to you speak, and every fighter has a great story, and on Saturday night you get your chance for glory. It's a great card as well. Lou mentioned some of the fighters on the card. Also, keep your eyes peeled for, I believe, one of the future stars of the sport, Reshat Mati, who's bringing around 500 or 600 mad Albanian fans into the arena on Saturday night as well. He's a brilliant young fighter, and we look forward to guiding him with Keith as well. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to MSG and HBO and Sky Sports, and to Cartier as well, our sponsors for Saturday night. It's going to be a great, great night of boxing, and these are the kind of nights that we really live for. We wish everybody the best of luck on Saturday night in the World Championship fights and every other fight on the card. And everyone on the table is going to be available for one-on-ones, and we're going to do the 3 head-to-heads up here on the stage now. Thanks again for your support. We look forward to a great night on Saturday.
Face off.
Definitely all right. Yeah.
Nah, that was a woman, Chase Money. She on a fun girl shit. Fun girl, fun boy, you know, shit spooky out here. That was definitely a woman though. Yeah. I was confused at first too. You know what I'm saying? Shit got spooky real quick at the press conference. Yeah.
I missed your question. Well, do me a favor. I don't know how to do this.
Eddie Hearn's looking right.
It's a high-class venue, I think.
Oh, you did. Lord. Man. Big live. Got my battery dying, so if it die, y'all know what it is.
I can get up there and do a selfie video.
Alright, y'all. Salute. I'll probably go live later, y'all. You know what I mean? Giving y'all that exclusive press conference. Salute to the Wreck Mob. I'm gonna go live later. Salute. Deuces. Go get that M.Reck, China Black, Target on mreckmusic.com. Go get that Target, also of iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Tidal, and go get that Millie Jack of iTunes, Google Play, Tidal, Spotify, and it's also on mreckmusic.com. Salute to my brother Shy in the building, Blue Blood Sports TV. Salute. That's my guy. Go subscribe to his channel right now, Blue Blood Sports TV. Yeah. Salute. MRecktv, Gutter Music. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in too. Salute to the Wreck Mob. Thank you.